Good afternoon. Welcome to another session of Breath of Fire Circle Wednesdays. I am your global community elder, Breath Master, Aaron Motley. Welcome once again, where we're going to get this breath in. Now, the breath of fire is a very dynamic breathing technique that brings a lot of energy into the body. Energy for transformation, energy for life. So I'm going to give a quick little statement here about why I am doing this. This is part of my mission as a global community elder to bring forth what I see as a cultural imperative that has to be based in health and wellness and in a natural way of living. So this is part of that process. So follow me on all of the platforms and what have you, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and of course my webpage, www.breathmastera.com, and of course my YouTube channel, Breathmaster A, Aaron Motley. So let's get this breathe on. I'm going to talk some more later on. Remember, if you want to feel the breath, put your hands out in front, elbows at your side, palms open. So you can feel the air as it hits your hands. If you find that you can't do it quickly, do it slowly. Developing a rhythm and a pace. Once you've gotten accustomed to the flow of the breath, the thrust from the abdomen, then you can pick up the pace. Again, this is done through the nostrils. The mouth is closed. With a thrusting action from the lower belly. Continue at your pace as I talk about one of my current enrollees in my Breath Master online certification. This young lady happens to be, continue on your own, this young lady happens to be a graduate and an esteemed member of Queen of Fool's Women, let me make sure I get the title right. Sacred Woman's Process. The Sacred Woman's Process is a rites of passage process for women brought on board by our inimitable Queen of Fool. In that process, in order to graduate, you must do 1,000 of the Breath of Fire in succession. And this young lady, she does 1,000 of those every single day, along with all the other things that she does. So she has actually inspired me to do the same. So I've been doing the Breath of Fire 1,000 breaths every AM upon rising or sometime during my flow. That's along with all the other breathing and so on that I do. So those of you who have stepped up to my challenge of 360, consider doing 1,000 breaths per minute. How do you do that? You count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then you start at 1 again, and you get to 20, 30, 40, and so on. That way you can keep track of how many breaths per minute. So here we go. I'm going to put up a finger each time I get to 10. 600. One thousand. Just in case I did another 100. So that's 1,000 breaths in like what, 8 minutes, maybe 9 or 10. So anyway, you can do this breath continuously once you're making sure that you have an even swap. So the same amount of breath, same amount of air exhaled as inhaled. So a gentle and a gentle sniff on the back end will allow you to do this breath in perpetuity. Now I just did 10, maybe 1,100 breaths. You can easily do 10,000 the same way or 20,000 the same way. This is going to tone up the abdominal muscles. It's going to strengthen your core. It's going to shrink the abdominal muscles. It's going to allow for increased digestion of food. It's going to help with elimination. It's going to bring that belly back in from being distended or having a gut in order for us to shrink the waistline, W-A-S-T-E. This is where the line, the area in your body where waste is accumulated. So make sure you are on point with knowing that this is the waistline, not the waistline, but the waistline. Okay, forget the fashionable stuff. We're gonna take it back to the original. This is the waistline where waste accumulates in your body. In order for you to get fat, you have to eat a lot, so it has to accumulate here and it has to become waste because it has to be more than your body can process. So you want to get into the habit of only eating the amount of food that your body can process in a day's time so that it gets rid of the excess on a consistent basis. Doing the breathing technique that I just shared with you will allow for that to happen continuously so you can stay slim, trim, and fit and not have to worry about high blood pressure, diabetes, stroke, aneurysm, and all of those plethora of diseases that are actually greater in number when it comes to the actual causes of death. The top 10 causes of death are pretty much natural causes that are the top 7 in that 10 are all non-communicable diseases, i.e. you can't pass this on to somebody. You can't breathe on somebody and give them high blood pressure. You can't breathe on somebody and give them diabetes and all of these things. The false belief that these things are hereditary are causing folks to give up their power and to yield to what it is that they refuse to acknowledge, which is what you are doing to yourself is eating yourself to death. It is not because your parents had high blood pressure or diabetes. They had high blood pressure and diabetes because they were eating themselves to death. If you want to call it an inheritance, the inheritance is the continual habit of eating yourself to death. That's what they passed on to you. They didn't pass on a gene that caused you to be fat. They didn't pass on a gene that caused you to have high blood pressure, diabetes, aneurysm, stroke, and all of that stuff. There is no gene for that. It is the simple habit of eating yourself to death. That's what you inherited. Get it straight. I'm on a soapbox here because I want people to know. Because it is very, very simple to maintain optimal health, to avoid the 7 top causes within the top 10 causes of death all around this planet. So, get your breathe on, eat food in moderation, high quality, nutrient dense, fiber rich food that will sate your appetite, that will leave your body in a timely fashion and keep you healthy and fit, so that by the time you're 63, as I am, you will look like this. By the time you're 103, as I will be, you will look like this. By the time you're 123, as I will be, you will look like this. Yeah, my face is wrinkled, but you don't see a bunch of flab and wrinkles around my body. You don't see a lot of excess. I got a little bit of jelly that I'm going to lose in the next 6 months. Not much. The visceral fat is the critical element. You want to make sure that you don't have a lot of visceral fat. Mine is minimal right now, but I'm going to minimize it even more. I'm at a 7. I had that down to a 5. But because of the lifestyle and sedentary aspect of staying up late and eating it, even though I eat healthy, I do tend to eat a little bit late. I'm going to change that so that I don't have the excess that when I eat, I lay down, and then my body's not burning it as energy, it's storing it as fat and fuel for some other time frame. I'm going to change that. So I'm going to eat to fuel my body during the day and minimize my intake or eliminate my intake after 7 p.m., except for maybe some water. Okay, so thank you guys for joining me today. I look forward to bringing you more healthy habits. I have a Patreon page that I'm about to unfold, so you'll be able to support this process with a nominal 3, 9, 27, 30, 40, whatever tier that you decide to join. That will be put out in the near future, sometime in April, early April, mid-April, somewhere in there. So you'll be able to come on board, support, and be a part of this quote-unquote movement towards optimal health, this cultural imperative that your breath master, global community elder, is bringing to you live and up close in person. Go to my YouTube channel, look back on the 30-day process that I began in January for you who want to really get a handle on your health. More to come.